beast! Ah!
Hello, and welcome back to another installment of Not the Bees, the Nic Cage filmography podcast. I'm Megan.
And I'm Elizabeth.
And this week we watched 2018's The Humanity Bureau. There's really not a whole lot of people that you're going to know in this. Nic Cage is really the top name that you're going to see. It's really kind of a no-name film, but it is 25% on Rotten Tomatoes, and an interesting little thing that I saw, because I don't see it very often, and I just want to bring it up, is that the audience score for this film is actually lower than the Rotten Tomatoes score. So I don't see that very often, and it was kind of intriguing, but basically this is a post-apocalyptic movie. It takes place in the year 2030. It's about 30 years after real industrial manufacturing has stopped, so there's no, like, new cars, there's no new ships, boats, trains, things that can, move things from one place to another. So in the near future, this post-apocalyptic issue is due to global warming. There's been wars and things like that, but it's turned a very large part of the American Midwest into a desert. The government sets up this agency called the Humanity Bureau, and they go around this wasteland sort of area in Middle America to interview them and determine whether or not they can take care of themselves. And if they can't, they're relocated to an area called New Eden instead. For the purposes of this film, we start out very violently, where Nic Cage, who is an agent for the Humanity Bureau, his name is Kross. His last name is, I think it's Jason or John Kross.
Nathan.
No, it's Noah.
Noah. Ha! We got it all wrong.
We got it all wrong. So yeah, he's an agent for the Humanity Bureau, agent Noah Kross, and he's going to interview an older man. And I think very quickly it's very easy to see that this is not a very high budget film. So given that it's not, something that has a large budget for production, I think I'm just going to do my best to try to look at it on its merit for what it was, because this film really only grossed like less than $60,000 worldwide. So he's going up to interview this old man, and the old man's like, no, you're not taking me. I've dined with the president at the White House, and you see a picture of
him and Trump.
I wasn't going to say the name. So, I mean, it's even
The Rotten Tomato,
even though in this, fictitious universe, in some way, shape, or form, this man still became the president. So it's very allegorical, really, to our current time. And Kross is confused. He's like, I don't understand what you mean. What do you mean? Like, you know the truth. And he's like, it doesn't matter. And he goes into another room and he gets a shotgun and he comes out and he tries to shoot Noah Kross. He ends up shooting the landlord of the tenement that he lives in. And Noah ends up shooting him dead. And from there, like, first of all, I'm very happy with how violent the movie started with. It sets the tone, I think. I always enjoy kind of like violent action movies. I think they're great. Anyways, from here, two men are dead. He goes back to his agency. His agency isn't very shook about the fact that two people died during this relocation. And Kross is told, hey, you're up for a promotion. But the person that he's talking to, this other agent, is starting to get a little bit suspicious of him. He's like, why is he having all these questions? Like, this is the job. This is what you do, blah, blah, blah. So after this, his next appointment is far away, and he has to drive there because, again, there's no planes, there's no boats, there's no trains. He's also driving because, of course, he is an El Camino.
I love this. I love that his government car is an El Camino.
It's wonderful. It's apropos. I love it. So, yeah, the next appointment that he's going to is this woman and her young son, who is about, I think he was 11 in the film, 11 or 12. And they're on a farm. I don't remember the exact area that they were, but there's no one around for miles. It's just this woman and her son. And she tries very hard to put on a show. Like, we can clearly take care of ourselves. Like, our water is mostly clean. He goes to school. We have food, blah, blah, blah. Truth is that they don't. Obviously, they just don't want to be sent away from their home. He gives her 12 hours. He says, I don't have, the authority for this decision. Like, I didn't make it. I just have to deliver it. I can only give you and your son 12 hours to gather your things. Just necessities, just what you need. And she pleads with him, like, please let me have a little bit more time. There's a recital at school tomorrow. He's singing in it. He's been practicing for months. And I guess this pulls at his heart a little bit. So he makes a note on his voice recorder to send back to the office, like to pause on the removal of the family, blah, 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 because he feels for her. When he gets back home, he's confronted with this other agent who's like, why would you postpone this? You don't get to delay it. It's not your job. She can have 24 hours. That's it. And then he goes back to where she is, however long and however far. We're like, distance is not really something that's discussed until halfway through the movie, distance and time. So we don't know where the Humanity Bureau is in relation to where this woman and her son are. Either way, he shows up at the school in a very unnecessary and sort of creepy and a bit imposing sort of action, where he goes and he just stands in the middle of the aisle watching the recital. And then afterwards they go back to the house and it turns out he's, we got to go. They're going to come after you. And so they leave and they take his government car and they drive it. And you see all these different sort of rundown areas in the American Midwest where nobody has anything. The first place that they stop is for gasoline, and it's a man on a crutch, and he has gasoline. It's an old gas station. He does have gasoline, but it's all stored in like tins behind him. He's like, I'm saving this for a rainy day. But because he knows because he figures out that the government agent isn't trying to hurt the woman and the kid, he's like, all right, you guys can go ahead and take it. You guys are going to need some time. He knows that the Bureau is coming. So as he sends them on their way, the gas station attendant piles into his truck, which, by the way, he only has one working leg. And it's his left leg, so I don't even know how he drove the truck in this next scene. But in the next scene, here come the SUVs, because, of course, it doesn't matter if it's post-apocalyptic and that manufacturing has stopped. The bad guys will always have big, shiny SUVs.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. Always, always, always. Anyways, so this hobbled gas station attendant who's given them all of his gas has somehow finagled his way into steering this giant old-ass pickup truck from like 1982 into the side of one of the SUVs to give them a little bit more time. And then we come to find out while they're driving and, going through all this, even though it's the American Midwest and it's all kind of a wasteland, they're still flying drones. They almost get caught by a drone. They end up sleeping under trees. They cover the car. There's a whole bunch of like random just going through the countryside, which is great. But once they switched cars and they're now hiding out from a drone, the boy is asleep and he's talking to the mother. And it turns out that the woman, who I think her name was Rachel Weller.
Yes.
I think that was the character's name. The woman that he's talking to actually isn't that woman, because he knew that woman from the before times. Or on a previous visit, he knew her. And he fathered the kid with that woman. So, about halfway through this, we figure out plot twist number 1. The kid is his. And then plot twist number 2, the woman that he fathered her on was going to try to sell him to someone, somewhere, because she was on drugs and nobody had anything. They were eating their neighbors. So this woman, I guess, who her actual name was actually Amanda, even though she went by Rachel Weller to raise the kid, she took the kid and like ran off. And she was like, I love him and I'm his mother, blah, blah, blah. So from here, they form a plan to go to Canada to get them out of the United States. And that includes crossing a very large radiation zone. And the person that they swapped the government car with, they got I think it was a station wagon. The person they swapped the car with said that there was a person that she knew back in the day that might be able to help them. She sends them off to them. When they get there, they're talking about the Canadian border and getting across it. And it's a guy, and I think he has 4 kids. And at first they try to kill him.
2 kids.
Is it 2? Is it just 2? I could have sworn I saw more than 2. Anyways, So yeah, he's telling them, there's a very large radiation. You shouldn't go. Like, you're not going to make it.
He also tells them that there's a wall that goes ocean to ocean.
Ocean to ocean.
That Canada has erected to keep America out.
Yeah. But he still tells them how to get there. They need to go up north. So now we get into the place where we're looking at actual location. So the instructions that he's given, that Kross is given, is to drive straight up north, all the way through, I think it was Minnesota and then the Dakotas.
He goes through Montana.
Montana, that's what it is. And then from there, turn westward and follow the top border until you get all the way to the west, and then someone will let you in. They'll find a way in. But he also gives him iodine pills. The second that you see the pillars of this one station that melted down, start taking these pills. And when they get there...
He also gives him a radiation detector.
A really, really old radiation detector. And when they get to the melted towers, and sure enough, there's a lot of rads and they shouldn't be going through. So they take their iodine pills and they start plowing through. And then when they get to the marker where they're supposed to check for higher levels, there's a fence or something, and there's nothing. It's 2. And they're like, well, why would they say that? And he goes, well, it's easier to build a wall out of fear than an actual wall, which is true. So they make it to Canada. The entire time the Humanity Bureau is on their ass. They get just past the border. And even though there's no one there to greet them, they're still kind of on their way. They're by themselves. The Humanity Bureau doesn't care that they don't have jurisdiction. They cross the line anyways. And they want what's on this chip. So I guess I should go back a little bit, because probably about a half hour into the movie, Noah Kross goes to get into the elevator of his apartment building to go up to his apartment. And the attendant running the elevator stops the elevator because he knew the guy at the beginning of the movie that he goes to interview about relocating, who had found, and Kross had found some card on him that was the truth or something like that. And he hands him what looks honestly just like a stripped USB flash drive, which is likely what it is. And it turns out what the Humanity Bureau is doing when they're relocating people to New Eden, it's not actually a new place. It's not a place where the government is assisting, because there's not enough food, there's not enough resources to keep people alive. They are taking people from their homes and taking them to this area that they've dubbed New England, that is nothing more than a gas chamber with 6 crematoriums.
New Eden, not New England.
Did I say England? My bad. New Eden. Did. Well, yeah. So that's what's happened. And the guy from the Humanity Bureau that's been following them this whole time, the other guy that used to work with him, the other agent that was like, well, you're up for promotion. Westinghouse. That's his name, because it's evil. Anyways, so he tells them, I need the flash drive. I need the USB drive. And he's like, well, I don't have it. It's not with me. I don't have it. So he ends up shooting the mother.
Point blank in the head.
Point blank in the head in front of her fucking kid.
She's dead.
Awful. And then threatens to shoot the child as well. And Kross goes, okay, fine, here you go. And he gives him a flash drive. And he tells the kid, fucking run, keep going. So he does. And then as soon as Noah gives him the flash drive, Westinghouse shoots him point blank in the head. It's the first time I've seen Nicolas Cage die on screen.
That's true.
And it was a bit harrowing, I'm not gonna lie. So anyways, the kid's running, and he gets somehow picked up by these kids, or this older man, this Canadian man. It's is it a ranger station? The old ranger station?
They shoot the government agents, they rescue the kid. They ask him, did Kross give you anything?
Yeah. And earlier in the film, he had given him a rabbit's foot, a lucky rabbit's foot. He's like, don't ever take it off. You'll be lucky as long as you keep this on you. And so the kid gives him the rabbit foot, this is the only thing he ever gave me. So they tore open the rabbit foot, and there's the actual USB, the one that he had given to Westinghouse was blank. And there's also a pre-recorded message that Kross has left at the beginning of the USB, this is what New Eden is, this is what they're doing, and then the movie ends. We don't really get any kind of resolution other than the secret's out and it's being broadcast to whoever has technology, to whoever might have a television, or I'm hoping a radio, who knows. But it's been broadcast, and then a revolution begins, and we start to see people from the Midwest, in whatever vehicles they have, banding together in this giant caravan, which I thought was just so poignant. Like when we're talking about like immigrants and stuff like that, and like caravans of like bad people, and like none of that's actually really true. Yeah, it's caravans of all the poor people that have been thrust out into this fucking wasteland of a desert in the Midwest of America,
And
including
they're driving to go take back the cities.
yeah, including the man with the two kids that sent them on their way with the iodine pills in their giant school bus. It's I'm gonna be honest with you, this is not a good movie. It's not, but I don't hate it.
I don't hate it either. I thought that it takes too long from Noah getting the USB drive to it being revealed to the audience what is on that drive.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
because of that, he doesn't seem to have a really good motivation for a lot of what he's doing.
Yeah, there's
Because
no real urgency to his actions either.
Right. They keep it very close, a very close hold as to him being the kid's father and to him having this big secret about New Eden. They don't present it to the audience until the film is almost entirely over. And so there's no real sense of urgency for why he's decided to save this kid and this woman.
Right.
And go running off into the wilderness where there are cannibals and there are people that will scavenge and rape you and murder you and take all of your stuff, and where there is radiation poisoning.
Yes.
So the whole thing seems to kind of on shaky ground, like it's just a lark that he had, until those plot points get revealed. It's very slowly paced for the urgency that ought to be behind it.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Like, there's a couple of things that, you know, were weird to me. Like, the dichotomy of technology in this film really bothers me. Because while I can understand that, you know, it's been 30 years since most manufacturing jobs have really stopped, and the cities have been sort of walled off because anything in the, like the Midwest area and the deserts is probably like a lawless sort of land, which I get. But technology is still being developed in the cities. And I mean, I'm a human that exists within society. And I just feel like it would be impossible for people outside of the cities to not have some like bastardized or cannibalized version of all of this, like really honestly great tech. Like the kind of tech that they have is better than the tech that we have now. And like there's just something about it that it bothers me. Like people that live like in currently existing deserts in our world now, right? They have technology. They have televisions, they have cell phones, they have radios, they have access, you know, to satellite stuff, you know, they have the internet. So it seemed very strange to me that there was this like dichotomy in the technology that they had, because even though they reference that there might have been a war here and there, for all intents and purposes, the vast majority of the damage caused in this farcical America really happened because of global warming and a couple of, or at least at minimum one, nuclear factory melting down.
Right.
So this has less to do with like actual war, which could make it understandable that would limit the ability to gain technology. Like war-torn areas, there's already so much more going on. Like, why are you even concerned about it? I don't know. I just thought that it was a bit far-fetched, considering the setting is only in 2030. Yeah, that was probably my only real gripe with it.
I liked the color palette. I think that they did a good job making, like, cinematographically, it's very stark. It's very brown. Everything has become a desert. I like it. I like the color tone that they use to set the mood of the film. My only problem with the film is that it takes way too long to get going. And
Yeah.
it takes way too long to reveal its secrets. So much so that I wrote a note here, like 30 minutes into it, where I was like, if I wasn't being forced to watch this, I would have turned it off.
Yeah. Yeah. And considering the movie itself is only an hour and 35 minutes,
Right.
like, it feels like it takes so much longer.
I was absolutely shocked when they kill the woman, the mom.
Yeah, I was not expecting that to happen either.
And then when they killed Nic Cage, I was like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah, I was not prepared for an on-screen death of his. I've never seen that
I have
happen
not
before.
seen Nic Cage die in anything before either.
Yeah, so I was fairly certain that he was just going to make it. And then he didn't, and I was like, "Oh, well that's not what I was." Yeah, I was not expecting that on this random, whatever day it was that I watched it. Like, I wasn't expecting that at all. Despite the fact that, obviously the CGI was very bad, the writing wasn't terrible for what it was.
The writing wasn't terrible. Like I said, it's just slow.
Yeah, it's just very slow. There's a lot of in between because there's a lot of just like driving through the country and like
right,
that kind of stuff. There's a lot of just very long sullen silences between characters. Yeah, I mean overall it's not a good movie. I don't necessarily think that I would call it bad. I think it could have been a much better movie if it had been better funded because they would have had better technology, they would have had better access to better,
right,
crew, producers, all that stuff. The CGI would have been better.
I do like Westinghouse as a character, and I appreciated the way that he became more and more insane as it went on. Like,
just absolutely unhinged.
He is so concerned about the secret that Noah has uncovered that he just becomes completely obsessed with finding and capturing Noah.
Like, obsessed. And it's the only, and like, we don't even know why. We don't honestly even know why. He doesn't seem to be...
He's trying to keep the secret.
Right, but we don't understand his motivation for that. Like, he's not like some big wig within the company and it's like, oh fuck, this can't leak.
No, he's just Noah's direct report,
Yeah. He's literally just his direct report. There's not at any point he doesn't share that with anyone above him. He's not told from anyone above him or other, like, for all intents and purposes, like, he ramshackles his team together and like forces them to go do this. He has an entourage of, I mean, let's be fair, red shirts, of I think about 12 between the vehicles.
But there is a scene with him and two other shadowy figures where they realize that Noah has obtained this information, and for some reason they decided to film this scene in an echo chamber, so everything is like bouncing, all of the words are bouncing off the wall and reverberating, which is a terrible place for three people to hold a conversation. Just FYI, if you're gonna film that, it's terrible. But there are three people that are sharing the secret and say that Noah has to be stopped, but we're never told what their positions are. Who are these people? Why are they so concerned with keeping this secret?
Right.
Because they just seem like bureaucrats.
Yeah. So we don't know what their position is within this government agency. We don't know how high up they are.
I need an evil org chart.
Yeah. All we know is that the Humanity Bureau has a very fluffy sounding name.
Yes.
For very evil deeds, which, I mean, sounds normal. I mean, it sounds about right.
When I kick off my evil plans for world domination, I'm going to call it the puppies and kitties referendum.
Yes.
And get everyone on board with it.
I really liked, I think that I liked this movie. I think that I liked it in general. It is very slow. The pacing is dull. It's not urgent enough. There's a lot of stuff that we don't know, but
the payoff at the end is interesting.
It's interesting. I also am kind of a sucker for parables. So, I mean, this is clearly a parable of or an allegory for what life could be in our current climate, right? So
Yeah.
it's interesting to watch. There is something about the lack of urgency that makes it feel more of a real representation of whatever it is that they're trying to show. Like I said, there's literally only one image of a famous person anywhere in this movie
And
other
it's
than
that
Nicolas Cage.
shot of Trump with the guy that he
Yeah.
first goes the first guy who tries to kill him. And
Yeah.
and
This is in the first 5 minutes. So, I mean, it's very clear.
Westinghouse even says at some point, did you know that guy was the mayor of Denver at one point?
Yeah.
Just to show you, like, oh, how the mighty have fallen. This man is now living in a tenement, in a motel somewhere in Nevada, nowhere near Denver. But he used to be somebody. He used to be important.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that because he once had his picture taken with the president.
Right. And by the way, it's assumed, at least for me, that he's still the president or the president that ushered this in, and happened well before it happened in our reality. So there is that. So yeah, it's interesting. It's like, being that is the one and only real mention of like anything political other than, it's just a strain on resources. Like, obviously, it's a political thing to round up helpless people and shove them into a gas chamber, obviously. But the only like actual real like hard political things that are ever said in that movie are, that line in reference to the picture of that person, and then Westinghouse making the mention that the person that was with that president used to be a mayor of Denver. Like, so it is a really good, like, how far the I have words that just, I'm tripping over myself. How far the mighty have fallen.
Yes.
Right? Is that what it was? Is that the line? So yeah, it's not a great movie. Like, it's not a great movie. I don't hate it.
I think we can settle on it's a bad movie that we both enjoyed. And that's okay. Not every movie has to be great for you to enjoy it.
No, I mean, I don't think that it's a bad movie, though. I don't think it's a bad movie. I think for what it is, it's actually...
Oh, I think it's a bad movie.
On its face, for what it is, for the budget that it had, it's actually not that bad. The acting isn't terrible.
Yeah, let's talk about Nic Cage. Let's talk about his acting, because I felt he was very subdued.
Oh my God, yeah. Like, there are a couple of moments where, like, you see a little bit of, like, him wanting to come out, like, his craziness, but I actually kind of appreciated...
He kept it all
in. The quiet intensity.
He kept it all in.
All of it. And, like, he wasn't obvious about anything that he did. That was actually kind of a refreshing take. Like, I was expecting his character to be a little bit
spicier,
like psycho. Yeah. And then come to find out, like, this kid is his kid. Like, I would have expected him to be even urgent throughout but he wasn't. He was very calm, collected.
This is a surprising performance from Nicolas Cage. It is reined in. It is subdued. It's a quiet performance.
It's sad.
He's a very melancholy man.
Yeah, he's a very melancholy man. I mean, honestly, the movie is sad. It has a positive sort of ending, but the movie in and of itself is not full of joy. Like, it's a very sad movie. I get very sad tones throughout the entire thing. And I think maybe that's probably why I like this movie. Sadness is so hard to portray in a way that, like, it's not necessarily related to the immediate aftermath of a specific event, right? Like, there's not, a death that happens and then this is happening, like, at a funeral, and, like, the story is surrounding some... the story isn't about personal grief, but it is very sorrowful in a lot of ways. I don't know. I thought that this movie was worth the watch. Yeah, I had the same issue about half an hour in, where I was like, if I wasn't forced to watch this, I'd turn it off. But after I got to about, like, 45 minutes to an hour, I was like, you know what? There's something about this that I'm enjoying. I don't know. I don't think it's a bad movie. I don't think it's a good movie. I think that if it had had the budget, it could have been a good movie. Yeah. I don't think it was poorly written. I don't think it was poorly acted.
Yeah, I agree with all of that.
It's just kind of meh. It's the whole tone is very melancholy, just like the color palette they used. I think that I think I would have to give Nicolas Cage a B for this one. What would you give him?
I could live with a B.
For the Nick Caginess of it?
The caginess of it is a B. What do
It
we
was
give the overall film?
I'm gonna give it a C.
That's what
I
I was
don't.
thinking.
Yeah, I don't love or hate the movie. I liked it on its face for what it was. I didn't hate it. Yeah, I would give it a solid C.
Yeah, I think a C is a good good rating.
Okay. And listener, I mean, let us know if you agree in the comments. We'd certainly love to hear from you as well. We struggled a little bit to watch this movie, but you know, for what it was, we got through it, and you know, let us know in the comments whether or not you want to watch it. If you have watched it and you have any other takes, we'd love to hear. And of course, if you like what we're doing and you want to support us, maybe kick us a couple of bucks here and there, you can find us on patreon.com/notthebees. We're also on Instagram at notthebeespod, and every week we'll share a couple or three photos from the movie that we're watching that week. Feel free to follow along. That's all that I had, Elizabeth. Do you have anything else?
No, that's it from me.
All right. Well, then I guess we'll see you next time.